So good afternoon everyone. We are the group 5 of BSN 24 and we are here to discuss microbial ecology. So before tackling microbial ecology, we are going to tackle first what ecology means. Next slide. Ecology. Ecology is the systematic study of the relations of organisms to one another and to their environment. It answers questions like how do living things interact and rely on each other or their surroundings. So basically, ecology seeks to understand the connections between organisms, including us, humans, and the world around us. An example of ecology in action is how human could not survive without plants to produce oxygen and how the plants need carbon dioxide from humans and other organisms as well. Another examples of this is how ants search for food in their environment, a growing mold on bread, and mushroom growing on rotting tree. These are all part of ecology. Next lesson. Next slide. So there are different fields of ecology that deals with different subjects. We have aquatic ecology, microbial ecology, terrestrial ecology, taxonomic ecology, systems ecology, evolutionary ecology, behavioral ecology, population ecology, conservation ecology, and applied energy. Next slide. So for this lesson, our focus will be on microbial ecology. Microbial ecology. It is the study of the numerous interrelationships between microorganisms and the world around them. So in here it so in here it studies how microbes interact with other microbes, how microbes interact with other organisms other than microbes, and how microbes interact with the non-living world around them. So, microbes or microorganisms are actually a backbone of ecosystem. They are the most important part of it. So, they are also the huge contributors in different biogeochemical cycles. Aside from that, they can also help us improve our lives via the use of microbes in environmental restoration, food production, bioengineering, or useful products such as antibiotics, food supplements, and chemicals. Next slide. Symbiotic relationships involving microorganisms. Symbiosis, from Greek word origin meaning together and living. It is an example of ecological interrelationships. Symbiosis is defined as the living together or close association of two dissimilar organisms. In here, we have neutralism, mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism.
Next po. So there is four symbiotic relationship. Next. So yung una doon is neutralism. Neutralism is used to describe symbiotic relationship in which symbiont is affected by the relationship. The different microorganisms occupy the same ecologic niche but have absolutely no effect on each other. So yung example nito is yung bacterium Bacillus anthracis. Typically forms endospores in soil when conditions are unfavorable. Next is commensalism. Commensalism is beneficial to one symbiont and of no sequence to other. Ito yung neither beneficial nor harmful. Many of the organisms in the indigenous microflora of humans are considered to be commensal. So, sila yung nagpo-provide ng nutrients tsaka housing. So, ang example ng commensalism is yung barnacles and whale incommensuralism. Yung barnacles kasi parang ito yung nakadikit sa ilalim ng bibig ba yata ng whale yun. Yung may white part, yung mga nakadikit doon, kala mo parang ano siya, 'di ba, mga shell, pero hindi talaga siya shell. Yun yung barnacles. So yung barnacles na yun, effect, wala siyang harmful effect sa whale. Parang ginawa lang nilang shelter yun. So, next. Next is mutualism. Mutualism is beneficial to both symbiont. Ito yung the relationship is mutual beneficial. So, yung example nito is yung intestinal bacterium Escherichia coli, which obtain nutrients from food material that are ingested by the host and also can produce vitamins. Yung bacteria Escherichia coli, ano daw, kumbaga daw, para siyang, pwede siyang magbigay ng vitamins. Yung vitamins na yun is vitamin K. So, hindi siya nagkakaroon ng harmful effect once na na-digest ng tao yon. So, yung isa pang example nun is yung bumblebee tsaka yung flower. So, yung bee, once na nag-land siya sa flower, ano siya, sinisip-sip niya yung pollen ng isang flower. Next po. So, yung last is parasitism. Parasitism is beneficial to one symbiont, the parasite, and detrimental to the other symbiont, the host. So, meron itong dalawang kinds. Ito yung smart parasite na do not cause disease but rather take only the nutrients they need to exist. Ito yung kaparehas niya yung mutualism na ang inaano niya lang, nagbibigay lang siya ng nutrients. Yung last naman is the parasite kill their host and then find another new host. So ito naman yung parang yung virus. Kunyari, example natin yung virus. Diba once na makuha mo yung virus na yon, pwedeng magkaroon ka ng infection like yung COVID. 'Di ba puwede ka if mababa yung ano mo, yung immunization mo, pwede kang mamatay. Then once na mamatay ka, yung virus na yun maghahanap ulit ng other host. Isa pang example is ito yung pinaka-example talaga ng parasitism, yung tapeworm or yung tinatawag na ascariasis. Once na na-digest mo kasi yun, pwede kang magkaroon ng infection. Si ba yung infection, yung ascariasis, pwede siyang, once na hindi mo siya magamot, pwede siyang maging sanhi pa ng ano mo, kamatayan, ganon. So, next po. So, para mas lalong matandaan, yung mutualism both species benefit. So, para sila nagkakaroon ng benefits. Yung commensalism naman is, yung isa lang yung nagkakaroon ng benefit, tas yung isa parang walang epekto. So, next is parasitism. One species benefit, the other is harm. Yung isa, binibigyan ka ng benefit, pero yung isa, parang papatayin ka na. So, neutralism, both species are unaffected. Wala talagang epekto. Yun lang.
Indigenous microflora of humans. A person's indigenous microflora or indigenous microbiota, or for another term than normal flora, includes all of the microbes, and these are the bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and viruses that lives on or within our body. Humans gain a lot of microorganisms, including vitamin K and vitamin B12, pantothenic acid, pyridoxine, and biotin. They also constantly provide irritants and antigens to stimulate the immune system. Next, our body. Our bodies are composed of about 10 trillion cells, including nerve cells, muscle cells, and epithelial cells. And that we have about 10 times that many microbes that lives on and within our bodies. It's 100 trillion. It has also been estimated that our indigenous microflora is composed of between 500 and 1,000 different species. Our body is exposed to microorganisms from external environment. Next, a fetus and newborns has no indigenous microflora. During and after delivery, newborn is exposed to numerous microbes through its mother, food, air, and almost anything that comes into contact with the infant. Microbes, both harmful and beneficial, live on the baby's skin, at all body openings, and on the membranes that line the, the digestive tract and genitourinary tracts. The moist, warm environment are ideal for development for microbes. Microorganisms are generally absent from blood, lymph, spinal fluid, and the majority of internal tissues and organs. Resident microflora and transient microflora takes up temporary residence on and within humans. Transient microbes are frequently attracted to moist, warm body areas. Next, some reasons of temporary resident. They may be washed from external areas by bathing. They may not be able to compete with the resident microflora. They may fail to survive in the acidic or alkaline environment of the site. They may be killed by substances produced by resident microflora. They may be flushed away by bodily excretions and secretions such as urinary, urine, feces, tears, and perspirations. Many microbes are unable to colonize the human body because they do not find the body to be a suitable host. Next reporter.
Microflora of the skin. The resident microflora of the skin consists primarily of bacteria and fungi. It has many as 300 different species, depends on anatomical position, the number and variety present on the skin, depends on the amount of moist present, pH, temperature, salinity, presence of chemical waste like urea and fatty acids, and presence of other microbes that produce toxic substances. Common bacteria on the skin are known to be Staphylococcus, germs or bacteria that are commonly found on the skin and nose. They are commonly found on healthy people and cause minor skin infections. Corneabacterium, a genus bacteria that can be found on skin, upper respiratory, and gastrointestinal tracts. And lastly, Propionibacterium. Microflora of the skin, of the ears and eyes. The outer part and the auditory canal have the same types of microorganisms found on the skin, whereas the middle ear and inner ear are usually sterile. The external part of the eye is lubricated, cleansed, and protected by tears, mucus, and sebum, making the continual production of tears, which contains the presence of enzyme, lysozyme, and other antimicrobial substance, reduce the numbers. Microflora of the oral activity. Mouth. The anatomy of oral activity or mouth affords shelter for numerous anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. Anaerobic microorganisms flourish in gum margins in between the teeth. And the most common indigenous microflora of the mouth are various species of A. hemolytic streptococci. Next.
Microflora gastrointestinal tract. Gram-negative bacillus named Helicobacter na nagkakos ng ulcer. Yung, yung microflora use exists in the upper portion of small intestine, the duodenum, because bile inhibits their growth, but many are found in the lower parts of the small intestine, the jejunum and the ileum. While the bacteria species, anaerobic gram-negative cocci, Enterococcus, Enterobacter, Clostridium, Staphylococcus, Lactobacillus, and all human next microflora of genitourinary tract. The distal ureter part of the ureter farther from the urinary bladder and the external opening of ureter harbor many microbes including bacteria, yeast, and viruses. The reproductive system of the female and male are usually sterile except for the vagina of female. Kada nagsasage yung sexual development ng isang tao, nagbabago rin yun sa microflora. During puberty to menopause of a female, there is a vaginal secretion of alkaline na nagsusupport sa paglaki ng mga diphtherios, streptococci, staphylococcus hanggang sa pagbubuntis na din. Ang metabolic acid used by production of lactobacilli also lactic acid to inhibit the growth of bacteria associated with the bacterial vaginosis. At kung sakali may mag-decrease yung lactobacilli sa vaginal microflora, maaring mag-cause ito ng overgrowth ng mga bacteria na pwedeng masanhi ng yeast vaginitis. Frequent urinary help to prevent UTIs. Bacteria species in vagina, aerobic gram-positive cocci, lactobacillus, lactobacteroides, Klebsiella, and Proteus.
Edbonamica